Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, one and all. I, Dr. Shashikant DH, Placement Officer, pleased to welcome you all to the webinar on Employability Quotient, organized by Naipunya Kendra, the placement cell of the Karnataka State Rural Development and Panchayat Raj University, Gadag. I extend a warm welcome to our beloved Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Vishnukant Chatpalli, Sir. Welcome you, Sir.
Namaskar.
I also welcome a warm welcome to our beloved Registrar in absentia, Professor Basavaraj Lakannavar, Sir. Welcome you, Sir. Without whom we are incomplete. I express my sincere thanks for giving us an opportunity to arrange this webinar. I also would like to welcome Dr. Abdul Aziz, Sir, Assistant Director, Center for Training, Publication and Supervision. Welcome you, Sir.
Namaskar, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I also welcome all the program coordinators, faculty members, students of all the postgraduate programs of the KSRDPR University. Thank you. Dear friends, I'm glad to share with you all that the placement cell of the KSRDPR University has been renamed as Naipunya Kendra, which means making every individual's expertness with a set of the required skills. The vision of the placement cell is committed to improve the skill sets of the students in the university through conducting of the skill trainings and resolving various issues in choosing the right career. Friends, the COVID-19 pandemic has compelled every sector to reorganize their way of working, reprioritize their goals, and make some tough choices regarding their futures. A study on COVID-19 India Readiness Survey by the Willis Towers Watson, only 5% of the companies anticipate a positive business impact in the next 12 to 24 months, wherein more than 3 million graduates and the postgraduates join the work pool every year. Most of the organizations actively seek those candidates who are not only masters of their craft, but well-rounded personalities with immaculate business etiquettes and the great soft skills. A report titled Fueling India Skill Revolution that indicated that a large part of our graduate groups do not have the fundamental soft skills. Dear students, crisis can steer the transformations. We are living in uncertain time and we are putting our all hard efforts in taking the lead to transform these circumstances into the opportunities of our students, for which we must thankful to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Chatpalli, sir, the architect behind these transformations. The today's session focuses on the employability quotient by Dr. Sushant Joshi. Dr. Sushant Joshi is an electronics engineer by the qualification. Dr. Joshi has completed his post-graduation in management and the commerce and Master of Philosophy and PhD in the management. He secured first rank in the university MCom and the MPhil and holds a record of the highest score in the electromagnetic engineering in the third year of the engineering program. Presently, Sir is working as the associate professor at the KLS IMER Belgavi. He has 15 years of the experience as a teacher and 5 years of the industry experience. His PhD thesis on employability skills, Dr. Joshi, under the guidance of the Professor Vishnukant Chatpalli, sir, has developed an employability quotient, a measurement scale tool to assess the industry readiness of the MBA graduates as a part of his PhD research. Dr. Joshi has furnished over 20 research papers in the national and the international journals and the conferences. Dr. Joshi is a teacher, researcher, and the corporate trainer and the management consultant. Sir, thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation, and thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Sir.
Thank you.
Sir.
Shall I begin?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir would like to address, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Okay.
I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Vishnukant Chatpalli, sir, to put their opening remarks.
Okay. Professor Aziz, Shashikant, and my research scholar, teacher, researcher, Sushant Joshi, my program coordinators, faculty of this university, and my dear students. I am very happy that Dr. Sushant Joshi, who is my research scholar, who has extensively worked on the topic which he is going to present today during his PhD work, and that is the culmination of work what he has been doing since several years. As a student, he also knows what are the limitations and more so on what are the strength of a student. But generally what happens is student understand their weaknesses, but very difficult to understand what are their strengths. And every time we hear that the graduates, those who are graduated from colleges or universities, for them the issue is on employability. Many researches, many reports, McKinsey report or any survey report says that there is a problem. But I personally believe, and I also propagate the same thing, that problems are there, but what is the solution for it? We have to work always on solutions. And such one initiative was to find out if the students are not employable, what is the problem in it? Why they are so? And if that is the case, what can be done? So all of us know that the first stage of any activity in case of employability to increase is to identify. Unless you identify what are the basic shortcomings, limitation, drawbacks, we can't improve. And improvement also takes place over a period of time. So the purpose when he was doing his PhD was, can we develop a tool which will help the student and the institution and the employers to find out what exactly is the deficiency and how we can improve. All of us have very popularly know about intelligent quotient, we know about emotional quotient, we know about spiritual quotient. When first time we designed this topic of employability quotient in 2013, and over the period of almost 6-7 years, the concept of employability is also matured, and we are at the stage where we can identify employability. Now, every student has a dream, or every person has a dream, that education should get connected with employment. No one does education just for charity or just spending his prime time. And when employability means he wants to get connectivity from education to employment, that doesn't mean that he has to go for some wage employment. It could be self-employment also. But for self-employment, there are certain characteristics which are dominantly required. So also, if a student wants to continue his higher study, he requires some quality which will take him to the higher studies. So this aspect of employability and employability quotient should enable all the stakeholders to identify what are the shortcomings and how it can be improved. And this Naipunya Kendra at our university will support the students for the next 2 years during their stay of their graduation. But now Shashikant has used the word for this seminar as outgoing students. So these are the students who are at the threshold of leaving our campus. Already few might have kept their right leg outside and left leg inside, and within a short time they are outgoing and they should go. If somebody says that, no sir, this university's campus is very good, I would like to stay here, I will not allow them to stay here, because they should go for the next stage. But what I can assure them, the students, those who are outgoing, is as an outgoing student, your connectivity is lost with us. But as an alumni, it will continue. As an emotional relationship, it will continue. As a relationship between the student and the institution, student and teacher, it will continue. So those of the students who are participating in this particular webinar, for them I would like to give a piece of advice that though they may complete the exam in next month and get their result in couple of months and all those things, you should be able to identify what are your shortcomings, where do you stand, improve it, and then go for the job market. If you go as it is on your own graduation program with your marks card, without the requisite skill sets, you may get a job, but that job will not be of your interest and of your dream. So this Naipunya Kendra will also help those students who are outgoing and they wish that they would like to take the support of the Naipunya Kendra to improve their skill sets. We can create a separate module for them and try to support. So the Naipunya Kendra is a continuous process of sharpening or honing the skills of the student. So your relationship will continue with us. And for those students who who are joining for this year, for them also there is an opportunity for the next 2 years to get their skill set assessed and enhanced. And I think Dr. Sushant will support, assist Dr. Shashikant and his team, and Dr. Aziz with his vast experience in the field of training should be able to draw an action plan as to how we can help the students who are present, who are going to join, and as said, who are outgoing students also. So with this, the effort that has been put by Dr. Shashikant and others is well appreciated, and I wish that the series of these activities should continue, and always university is in the interest, always works in the interest of the students. I wish the talk and the activity of Dr. Sushant will take a long way in the career of the outgoing students and the incoming students also. Thank you. Okay, Shashikant.
Sir, thank you very much, sir, for your valuable support for the students. And we are very fortunate, and that's why I said that you are the architect behind all the success of these students' career and also. Thank you very much, sir. So now I request Dr. Sushant Joshi, sir, to take over the session, please.
Sir, namaste. Namaste to all. Let me at the outset take the blessings of my guru, Professor Vishnukant Chatpalli, sir. And he's the inspiration behind the work that I could do. Only because of his support I could develop whatever it is I'm going to present. So nothing is mine. It is only the I'm only the person who has written it. The entire inspiration is my guru, Dr. Vishnukant Chatpalli, sir. Sir, thank you so much. I hope your blessings are always there with me. Now, respected Shashikant sir, respected Ajit sir, and the entire faculty members and the students of the university. What I'm going to discuss is something called, as sir mentioned, that this whole discussion started in 2013, and even before that, we had a series of meetings with sir, and when we were discussing what is the topic for the research, first idea that was there was, why should we have something on the employability, because there were a lot of reports, people from the industry kept on talking about Ajit sir would second me on this, that people in the industry say that we are ready to take them, but they don't have requisite skills. And we really wanted to know what exactly is the meaning of requisite skills and how do we develop that, because as a education institutes, as the universities, as the colleges, we do have our own time frame and subjects to be covered. Along with that, how do we integrate it? So initial thought was, let us first identify what is the level of skills that they have. So we were working on, you must be knowing, all of you, intelligent quotient, emotional quotient, social quotient, spiritual quotient, everything. A lot of quotients are there, but one very important quotient that was missing was the employability quotient. So we took this task of developing an employability quotient, and then we said, can we develop over a period of time a system which would be open for all, which anybody can use, the student, the universities and the colleges can use to assess their own employability levels and which are the sectors that they fit in. So we started working on, this is the background on which we started working on. I'm sharing a screen with you so that you will be able to see the variables also, because we have taken a lot of variables in this. Now this is my first screen. What do you mean by the employability? Now let's understand first, the most important part of employability is the skill part. Now what is the skill all about? Skill is a unified force of experience, intellect and passion in their operation. That is what John Ruskin says. So it is basically all three components put together, and most important thing is it's in operation. It's not about just knowing, it's all about doing it. So that's a very important aspect that we need to understand. All the students, please note that it is not about that I know things, but can I use the knowledge that I have to get the productive work done, which is expected from the industry, by the industry. So that is what the skill is all about. When you also have to look at one particular social dimension today. Today we are equal by technology. So nobody can say that I don't have access to this and that. Technology is an enabler and has made the world more equal and enriching. Now the whole human race will be divided into two categories itself. One is the skilled, the other one is the unskilled. So we need to understand which basket that we are in and which basket that we want to go. Definitely the basket that we want to be is the skilled basket. Now, you must have also observed there are people who have scored 75, 80, 90%. But there is somebody who scored 65, 70% and still be, still able to get better job offers, or is doing better in terms of his career. The difference between these two is not much in academic, there's achievements, but there's differences in the skills. So we need to understand that this is the gap that we are looking at. As Swami Vivekananda says, that education is not just knowing things, but it's also about if it doesn't help the common masses and equip them for the struggle of life, which doesn't bring the strength of the character and courage of a lion, is not worth education. He says real education is that enables one to stand on his own leg. Now that's very, very, very important quote that made as an inspirational drive behind this particular thesis. My thesis is dedicated to Swami Vivekananda. So because of this, now let's look at, we concentrated this work on one particular area, management education, but the idea is applicable across the sector. So we worked on management education. We tried to find out what is the scope of the management education, how many people are getting graduated and all that. We came with a striking and very big data which says that 4.5 to 5 lakh people MBAs pass out every year in India, but a lot of them are struggling for a better opportunity. Jobs are not a problem, but what jobs that you are doing is an issue that is there. So we were looking at what are the issues. So first and foremost thing that we found out, what there is a possibility that there is a lack of understanding between the institutes or universities and that of the industry. What exactly is needed? Is there a perception gap between industry and academia about the expected skills that are required? So that was the first idea that required. The second one was, as you are all aware, that anything that is measured is only can be only improved on. So there was no measurement scale. We found out that nobody is there to exactly measure what is the level that student is in and what is the improvement that is required. So we looked at a numerical expression to assess the employability of that. We also came across a lot of reports, wherein people were from Narayan Murthy to Azim Premji sir to Ambani's to Ratan Tata. Everyone was talking about lack of skills. They were saying that we have a huge opportunities, job is not a problem, but the problem is the skill sets of the MBA. So in fact, there was there are famous book written which talked about that, they don't teach you something that they don't teach you at B schools is required. And that became the, a kind of a background work for us to begin with. Now, employability quotient. Now I'm coming to the employability quotient. That is where we decided we'll do the first step. We'll do the first step of measurement. We'll identify the variables and then try to find out whether we can measure it and come up with a scale out of 100 to measure the level of readiness of the MBA students. So we developed something called the employability quotient, which we have defined it as employability quotient is a quantification of sum total of abilities that are expected in an MBA graduate to take up challenges and exploit opportunities at the workplace effectively and efficiently for sustainable, successful career in the industry. We are not looking at just a first job. We are looking at sustainable career. So that's why we are not talking about only first job or placements. We are talking about career. We never mentioned placements in our thesis. We've just mentioned it's all about career. So you should be able to develop the skills which will take your career to a longer, to a better heights, and over a period of time you scale the new heights in your career. That's what the issue is all about. So I will not get into the objectives of the study and all that, but certainly I would like to talk about research questions that we looked at. We looked at what is the industry expected from MBA graduate. Is there a perception gap between the industry and academia? What are the sector specific skills? Now this is also very, very important. We found out that not everyone requires the same kind of skills. The real estate requires different kind of skills. The retail industry requires different kind of skills. Pharmaceutical industry requires different kind of skills. IT requires different kind of skills. Banking requires different kind of skills. So we divided the entire industry into 10 different sectors and tried to find out from each sector what is the skills that they are needed. Then we talked about how do we measure it? What are the ways of measuring it? There are some companies who are doing it at certain cost, and their costs are very high. And what we found out was they have a structured questionnaire which is given to the students. Students are asked to write the answers for that, and based on that they will tell you these are your skill sets. But that is not a robust method, and that's not a holistic method of assessing the employability skills, because it's not only about the students knowing certain things, it's also about their aptitude and their social skills. There are multiple aspects that are there. So we are looking at a holistic measurement tool. So that was the gap that we worked on. Then we looked at what are the criteria that are considered by the industry, and then what are the salaries that are offered to the students on the basis of various institutes also is there. That is a kind of a secondary objective of our study. Now, now let's look at when we started with the review of literature, the first thing that we started was with, in our ancient text, is there anything? Now, a very interesting thing that we found out that in our ancient text, in fact, in Bhagavad Gita, we are talking about, there is a mention of, there is a mention of skills, right? And after that, we also found out that there are 64 skill sets that are there, 64 kaushalyas that we talk about. So they are divided into 11 different categories, and 64, you have these 64 skills that are there. So skill is not new for us. In fact, when we studied the old education system till 1825, we found out that these skills were very much been part of our education system, but with a colonial system, we kind of lost it, and that is where we started reworking the whole thing again. Now, if you look at this particular scale slide, then you'll understand that we chose 74 variables across 6 categories. Now, that's the scope of the research that we worked out. We talked about skills, we talked about values, we talked about personal attribute, we talked about domain skills, we talked about learning methods, we talked about institute attributes. All these 6 broad categories actually help develop the students, with a better skills, or equip them with a better skills. Now, what are those 74 different skills? So let's look at those 74 different skills. We are, as I said that we are looking at different sectors. One is the first dimension is the employability. In employability skills, we looked at, I'll share it with you so that you can look at it. Can you see the screen, Word file? Shashi sir, can you see?
Sir, Word file is not visible, sir.
Okay. I think I'll have to stop the existing one and okay. Yes. Can you see this now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, employability skills, we defined it as ability of an individual to gain, retain, and develop sustained employment by creating value for self and the firm. Now, variables that we looked at is, and these are very important variables given by industry itself. So, my student friends, please, you can make a note of this, or we'll be sharing this with Shashikant sir. He will talk to you. Communication skills, in that oral is different and written is different. Then we are talking about working with team is a very, very important skill that you need to have. Your ability to coordinate and cooperate for a common goal, that is called the interpersonal skills. Problem solving and decision making skills. Technology skills. Today with the COVID, we know how important it is, to have a technology skills. Etiquettes and mannerism. Your acceptable behavior is very, very important. Negotiation skills. Your ability to provide solution through dialogue, not by confrontation, but through dialogue. Numerical and analytical skills, which is assessed using the standard questionnaire. Stress management, your ability to work under pressure. Your self-learning skill. Now, I want you to really understand the self-learning skills. In a COVID situation, what exactly you require is the self-learning skills. You are sitting at home, working from home. If you have a good self-learning skills, you will do better. Otherwise, there is a problem for your employment. Time management skills. Punctuality is something that we cannot forget. Critical and creative thinking skills. So these are 12 different skills that we looked at in a employability skills. That is the first dimension. The second dimension, which we cannot simply ignore, and this is where our scale is different from anything that is developed till date. And this was a major contribution by my guru, Professor Chatpalli sir, and he stressed on the values. In fact, one of our colleague is also working, he has worked on values as a PhD thesis. Now, what are the values? What is the ideas that are held to be important at the workplace as a value, which govern our behavior? So values define the personality as well as organizations. Now, we identified 13 different values. One is empathy. Second one is humility, economy, responsibility, ambition, adaptability, harmony, sensitivity towards environment. Health is a very important value. Honesty, national pride is also very, very important value. Self-respect and personal integrity. Now look at what is personal integrity. Consistency in a word and actions. What you speak is what you do. That's very, very important. Now, a lot of you must be thinking that business and value, does it go well? In fact, our research tells us that companies are looking at people with a high integrity and self-respect. Now, that's very, very important for us. Along with that, the third dimension that we took was personal attributes. Now, what are these personal attributes? A lot of emphasis is given by a lot of colleges on this. So we took this particular also. One is how do you look? That is your physical appearance. Your physical fitness is a very, very important aspect. Your mental attitude, positive mental attitude, absence of personal habits, patience, ability and willingness to learn, willingness to share necessary information, and ability to accept the failures. Now, these are the personal attributes that we looked at. Then comes domain knowledge. Now, first three will remain common for all the different streams of education. Domain knowledge only will change in case of different streams. So, though it is for the MBA, we have talked about MBA topic or subjects like research, business intelligence, accounting, finance, corporate communications, HR and marketing and strategic management, business law and all that. But people with a science background will look at their own subject knowledge or domain knowledge. So this is the only factor where things will change. The next dimension is learning methods. How do you learn is also very important to make you, develop into a better skilled person. Whether it's a case study method, whether it's lectures, whether it's knowing the current scenario, we call it a general knowledge, industrial visits, outbound training programs, concepts, article reviews, book reviews, sports activities, yoga and meditation, guest lectures by industry, research-based internships, socially responsible activities, which play a very important role in the personality development of individuals, event participation, activity-based projects, study circles, which is very, very important aspect, and then self-learning. So these are various learning methods that we looked at. Mentoring is also very important. As you are blessed to have my guru as your mentor in as a vice chancellor. You cannot find a better mentor than him. So take a big advantage of that. And I know from my personal experience, his doors are always open. You have to just take his appointment because of the busyness, and then go and meet him. 10 minutes with him is as good as reading one book. So you should be doing that. If you fail to do it, it's your problem. So please understand that. Then ideological activism is also there. Then we are looking at institute attributes. I am very happy to know that the first and important transformation that happened in your university is change of name of that placement cell itself. Because placement only means one job, but Naipunya is all about developing holistic development. And that's a transformation that we are looking at. So industry, these institute attributes are also very important. Quality of teaching, choice of specialization, focus on skill development, reputation of the institution, placement records, extracurricular activities. Now, these are fantastic activities by Dr. Shashikant and Dr. Aziz. I'm really happy to be a part of this, and I'm honored to be a part of this. So this will help all the students. University affiliations, academic performance, NAC, NBA, campus infrastructure, location, all these make a lot of difference to your employability skills. So this is where we are looking at. And now let me take you to the next aspect of my presentation, and we'll talk about how did we actually assess it. What did we do, and what are our major findings. I will take you to our major findings first, and then we'll be able to understand what exactly the industry expects. Now, this is very important slide. When you look at major findings, as I mentioned, that Bhagavad Gita mentions yoga karmasya kaushalam. Now, this is a fundamental that we believe in. So Indians are not, this is not new to Indians. We are all aware of this. What industry expects is, look at this. Communication skills is a very important skill that is expected out of the 12 employability skills. Value, personal integrity. I told you that your words and actions should match, and that is what is looked at by the industry as the most important factor. Personal attribute. It's not about how do you look like, but it's all about whether you have a positive mental attitude. That's very important, and this is common for all the streams. Domain knowledge. Of course, if for MBA it is corporate communication, for different streams it would be different. Learning method, self-learning is the most important thing. And institutes, some institutes or universities which focus on skill development are the most important one for development of employability skills. So that's very, very important aspect. Now let's look at, when we did a further detailing, we found out that there is a little difference between what industry expects and what academy expects. I think Dr. Aziz would be very interested in knowing this. Now let's look at this. A lot of us look at personal attribute. That means, grooming, tie, wearing a blazer, That is all important to look nice, but that's not something that industry is very keen on. They say that whatever you wear it well. You look good. That's important. Not the Western outfits are the only ways of doing it. Whatever is suitable to you, you wear it, but look good. So that is what it is. But many a times we found out that in institutes, the emphasis is very, very high on this particular aspect. So that's where we found out what is the differential, and this is what the differential that we found out. Domain knowledge. Now this is a very interesting thing. All institutes gave a domain knowledge as a fourth important criteria out of 6, wherein industry looked at it as the first important criteria. They said that your job is to give them a domain knowledge, make them expert in the concepts, because we don't have a time to teach them concept. We can train them for the skills, but not the concept. So domain knowledge, my friends, are very important. So whatever you are learning, you should be good at it. That's very important, and industry expects that. Problem solving skills are very much required by industry. Critical thinking, national pride, adaptability is very important. They put you in any situation, you should be able to adapt yourself to that situation. That's a very important aspect. Very important part of your learning should be self-learning. Now that's what the industry expects you to do. So these are various industry expectations. I will share this data with Shashikant sir so that they can work on it, and they will be able to talk to you on in detail about it. So this is what was about the findings. Now I'll come to the major part of what we actually developed it as the employability quotient. Now this employability quotient, the employability quotient is a finding. Based on our finding, we developed a tool, a numerical expression to assess the MBA graduate. And I'll show you the calculation of employability quotient. Then you'll understand how comprehensively this was done under the guidance of Sir. I'll share that so that you can see this. Now, this is where we worked on. Now, when we see this, we calculated the mean, and then we calculated the ranking, and then we went on developing. What we did was, based on, there is something called the rank sum method. People from mathematics department know it. So this is where we assign the weightages for each of the dimensions. So it is not that all dimensions are given equal weightage. We assign the weightages in terms of their importance. So based on the data that we got, we analyze the data, and based on the highest ranking, we gave the weightages. Now here it's a very interesting thing. Out of the 6 dimensions, 28.57% weightage is given to your skills, 19% weightage is given to your value system, 23% is given to your domain skills. As I said, first, employability skills, 28%. Second, domain skills, 24%. Third, values. Fourth, personal attributes. Then fifth, learning method. And then last one is institute attribute. So it is only 5%. That contributes only 5%. So what is the most important focus should be is employability skills, followed by domain skills, and then value system. So if you work on this, then your employability quotient will be on the higher side, right? Then we developed, for each of the sector we developed. Now we found out that different sectors require different skill set, and there, if we try and understand that some sectors required higher values than that of employability skills. There are some sectors which required higher domain knowledge, like retail. They require higher domain knowledge. Second, employability skills. Third, your values. So this is where we looked at, and for each of the sector we developed this employability skills. And now when we looked at all these things, we also found out that this is going to be a very, very cumbersome in terms of you know, assessing it, because you know, every time you have to calculate all these things. So we thought that we should be giving even them the software or the mechanism which they can enter only the marks, and they will get the employability quotient of the individuals. And that is where we worked on something like before we something called as a Vivekam. But before I go to that, that is the last part of my presentation, I would like to show you about the how implementation can be done. And this particular implementation, because it's a comprehensive thing, that's why I want to show it. We looked at it as a 3-stage implementation. One is at the entry level, you assess the skill sets of individuals. After that, you at the end of the year 1, you again assess the skill sets. So you see whether there is a shift in their employability skills that have happened. Has it improved? Which are the areas that needs a focus? Which are the areas that students are still lacking? And the third stage is at the time of exit, you again assess them on their employability skills. Now, because we developed employability quotient for each sector, we also could tell the institute, the companies, like suppose there is a retail company which is coming in, we could show them that these are the students who have a high employability quotient in retail. So this is what we looked at, and this is how we developed. Now, if you look at this particular page, you will see that at the entry, why we are giving them or assessing is to prepare their strength and weakness matrix, and then mentoring objectives. That's, you know, based on this, they can decide on the mentoring objectives, as well as they can prepare their strength and weaknesses. At the end of the year, we looked at their specialization that would help them for their specialization and specific career guidance. And third cycle of assessment should help them identify sectors which they will be good at. So this is where, you know, the employability assessment is done. We also have given how that is to be assessed. Like, for example, employability skills should be assessed by the teacher, that is a mentor and industry expert. Like or communication skills, you put them for an interview, mock interview, and assess them, and average of these two is taken. So we have given this comprehensive detailing about, so skills have to be, you know, assessed by the mentor and the industry expert. Values have to be assessed by the teacher and a peer. Your friend will assess your values. Similarly, when we go down to personal attributes, it is a teacher and again an industry expert will assess it. Then we look at domain knowledge. It is your score in the university exam and your mentor. The average of that will be taken. And when we look at learning methods, teachers score and student score is taken, and average of that is taken. Why we took 2 assessments is because we don't want any bias to come in. And then institute attributes, again, students and industry will do this. So this is how the assessment, comprehensive assessment is done. Now, after all these assessments, we came up with something called as Vivekam. And now this Vivekam is a system that we have developed, which will give a comprehensive assessment tool. I will share that with you so that you can see. Just give me a minute, I think. Just 1 minute, I think it is lost somewhere.
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah. I hope you are able to understand what we are discussing. Students, sir, is it fine? My flow is okay?
Okay, Sushant. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Now, let me.
If the tool is ready, okay, or else you tell it, but take more questions. Keep time for questions.
Yes, sir. Now I think
questions preferably from students and then faculty.
Yes, sir. Done.
But you should take questions of both students and faculty.
Sure, sir. Sure. Unfortunately, I'm not able to put up that as a screen. But let me tell you how that system works.
Anyhow, later you will have to administer it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll do that. So we came with a software wherein all these assessments can be given, and there will be reports generated. One is employability quotient report of each student, wherein you can show them assessment 1, what was their score, assessment 2, what is their score, whether they are improving, and also if there will be a report on sector specific employability score. So a student will get a score for banking, for financial services, for retail, and then he will find out which score is high so that he can choose that particular sector. We also have a system wherein your specific within employability skills, which are the areas that you should focus on, which you are good at, which you need to work on. So that report will also be given. Batch-wise reports are given, wherein students with higher employability quotient are given. So these aspects are focused with this thing called as Vivekam. Vivekam stands for Viable Instrument for Validation of Employability and Career Management. So because the inspiration is Swami Vivekananda, we gave that system a name, Vivekam. I'll repeat that again. It's a very interesting acronym. Viable Instrument for Validation of Employability and Career Management. Because this system doesn't only talk about only assessment, it also gives you an idea about your career management skills. So my last slide before I take a question is, please understand, students, the issue is not employability, issue is employability and not employment. This is the last statement, or rather the first statement given by my guru. He said that don't blame the students. There is no dearth of jobs. The issue is employability. We have to work on employability. Employment will automatically happen. Thank you so much for giving me opportunity to talk to you. I'm open for questions. Thank you so much.
Sir, thank you very much, sir.
Sir, I want to ask one question.
Sir.
Please, sir.
Sir, employability quotients comes under different areas also. I think you only talk about industries, all those things. It also comes under the different field like education, rural development, all those things, sir.
Sir, this employability quotient, that's what I said, sector specific employability quotients are also worked upon, and that is a part of the system. I'll be sharing that detail with Shashikant sir, and the next time there is an opportunity, I would visit with the permission of the Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, visit and talk to you about this. There is sector specific employability quotient developed. It is not common. That's what the difference is.
Common. It is not common.
Yeah, no.
But employability quotient is different from area to area, I think.
Yes, yes. That is what this system gives you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for making us understanding regarding what industry exactly need at the present situation and how industry expects the changes in the students. And as you stated in the last slide of your presentation regarding the employability is not like we need to train our students with the employability that any job is sort of the dirt. So that is the one impressive thought we can say that, sir. Sir, with this, I request any of the all the students to raise any sort of the questions you have. Kindly, you please raise the hand, sir. Any of the students have the questions and doubts, you please raise the hand so that we can connect you to the resource person to speak with them. Yes, please. Hello. Hello, Madi sir. Yes, sir. Sir, Chanapur sir, you can please speak, sir. Hello. Chanapur sir, you need to unmute, sir, please.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You can hear you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, it was a very enlightening talk. I just want to know, you can develop such models only after you have an interface with the industry. You should have industry people with you to develop these skill sets. Yes, no, sir.
Yes, sir. So we developed this after the consultation of 176 industry experts. The questionnaire
Yeah.
was administered to 176 uh, uh, people from the industry with 10 different sectors.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The point is, you are able
Yes,
to
sir.
hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You're
sir.
audible, sir.
See, what Chennapgoudar and Lakkannawar both are asking is, see, ours is not a MBA institute. We are having students across different programs, and program-wise students' preference after their graduation will be different in different sector. But every sector has got some dominant requirement of skill sets. And that's what Sushant also related it, called, he didn't spell it out, but it is a sector skill council. Every sector has got some specific skill sets required. Now, people like Chennapgoudar and others, Aziz, Shashikant, have to customize this tool for our students. As it is, the tool cannot be addressed for all the kind of students that we have in our university.
Yes,
So
sure.
it needs to get customized. This is what, Chennapgoudar, are you?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I'm getting you, sir. Yeah.
It needs to get, because if the rural development or MSW students, they may not go to school, they
Yes,
may
sir.
not
Yes.
go to industry, but they
Yeah.
will go to some organization, isn't it?
Yes.
So
Yes.
we have to identify which is the larger kind of organization that MSW students are going, and
Yeah.
then correlate it. So ultimately, the tool is a generic one. It has to be customized for a particular sector.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Isn't it, Sushant? If you
Yes,
want,
sir.
you can add.
Yes, sir. Exactly, sir. That is where I said the first three parts would more or less remain same, but only thing is we need to go to the industry and find out the importance level and then customize it. And that possibility is very much there. In fact, the tool that we are going to provide will definitely help you to customize it also.
Okay, I have another meeting. I will join you. If you want, you can continue for some more time, and then
Sure.
Aziz can close it later.
Yeah, yes, sir. Sure,
Sir,
sir.
thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Aziz sir, you want? Yes. Karni sir, hello.
Sir, ask if any students first give preference if they have any doubts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or in chat box, the questions are there.
Chidanand.
Chat box, there are some questions.
Yes, sir. I'll check. Sir, Chidanand sir, you can please speak.
ಸರ್ ಆಡಿಬಲ್ ಸರ್?
Yes, sir. You are
Yes,
audible.
sir.
Yeah. Yes.
ಸರ್ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಾನು ಚಿದಾನಂದ್ ಪತ್ತಾರ್ ಸರ್, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಹೌದು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಸರ್ ನಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್, ನಾನೀಗ ಸರ್ 2 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಲಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಕಳೆದ 10 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ PDO ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ರಿಲೀವ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಟ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಾನು PDO ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಜಾಬ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್. ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್, ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ದು ಅದರ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ನಮ್ದು ಜಾಬಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಗೆ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಸಿವಿಲಿಯನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಲೈಫ್. ಈ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಯಾವ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಕಡೆ ಗಮನ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಕರಿಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಾಗ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಯುಮಿನಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ ನಾನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ನನ್ನ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಕೆರಿಯರ್ಗೆ. ಸರ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೈ
Yes, sir. In fact, it's a very valid and very good question. So that is what we, in fact, at the beginning only we said that employability quotient or employability is not about only for one job. It is for the lifetime. It's a career development. It should help you to develop your career over a period of time. Now, the areas that you should focus on along with your domain skills and things like that, the area which I feel that we should focus on is the values, because what makes us different from others is our value systems now. And if you look at industry today, is very much looking at values of the individuals. Is the personal integrity there? Are they honest? You know, are they able to harmonize their work-life balance? You know, do they have a patience? All these are developed, and this can all be developed. It's not that it is a part of our, you know, it is once fixed and cannot be changed. So we can definitely work on those particular aspects. I think that is one thing. And two most important aspects I want you to focus on. One is ability to self-learn is very, very important, and adaptability. No matter where you are going, you should be able to adapt yourself and still give the results. So these two aspects, I think, if you focus on, then things will be taken care of. Other things will automatically come in. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Geeta Bangari, madam.
Good afternoon, sir. The information provided by you is really very useful. I just wanted to know, sir, you contacted the industries and developed this tool. Have you administered this tool, sir? And what was the students' response, whether it's useful?
Yeah, ma'am, we did test this for 2 batches. And we found out that the employability quotient, when we calculated for each student, and when we tried to match, we matched it up to 78%. That we decided, you know, we said that this student is good at banking, and he actually got a banking job. So that ratio was very high of 78%. So we did test this particular model, and this is a tested model, ma'am.
Then who scored low, sir? Have you provided any additional trainings to them?
In fact, one of the report that will come is for each student, see there are 12, say for example, if I take one dimension, that is employability skills. In that there are 12 parameters, oral communication, written communication and all that. Now this report for each student, there will be a report saying that his score, if there is less than 70%, then this needs an improvement. So it comes as a red. So this is given to the mentor. And the mentor has, you know, with the placement officer and training and placement officer, develops a module to help them develop that particular skill. So there may be that, it's not that every skill training is required to everyone. Okay. So there are, you know, bunches made. Like these people require written communication skills. These people required oral communication skills. That's how we work it. And this is given by the report itself. Okay. The report will come like that.
Then you conducted post assessment also, sir?
Yeah.
Whether there was any improvement?
No. After, this result, you know, the system only will give you a result about whether they are improving or not. Okay. But as far as training effectiveness is concerned, that's a separate, no, that is a separate area which was not a scope of my research. Okay. I was focused on calculating this and seeing whether this model works. And we found out that this model actually worked in 78% of the cases.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. I request any of the students have their doubts? Any of the students? Any of the students from the all programs? They are not very sure, sir.
Sir, no problem.
Yes, sir. There is one question as asked, sir.
Yeah, Karni sir wanted to ask something.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Professor Karni sir.
Somebody has joined that. Karni sir, you can unmute sir, please. Hello, Karni sir, you're audible. Hello. Somebody joined with the name of Galaxy J7. Somebody says there. May I know who is this? And will you please unmute yourself and speak? Yes, please.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, myself Mahantesh from MPH, sir.
Yes, sir.
I am also same to the Chidanand, sir. I have served 10 years PDO, sir. By the way, I am Master of Public Health student, sir. Sir, we are from Rural Development Department, sir.
Yes, sir.
We are joined to Public Health course, sir. And we have completing shortly Public Health course, MPH course. Being an government employee, and I am getting PG from government university, sir. In future, how I commit and how I useful to the government to serve to the society and also to the government, sir.
Sir, I think we need a holistic development for for a person to be really contributing something. But as I again mentioned what I said to the earlier question, now because of the government sector, you are in a government sector, what unfortunately is lacking is honesty. So if we work, and what happens is you are honest, but you see others probably not so honest, so you lose the interest. But what I request you is that is where the personal integrity comes in. Okay, no matter what it is, because if everyone starts talking about, I will be honest only if others are honest, then the system doesn't work. So what we need to work on, as Swami Vivekananda said, that don't worry about what others are doing. You have to do because your character is not judged by what others do, but what you do, and that's very important. And something which I'll give you a small story if Shashikant sir allows me, a small 10-minute story about we should know what is required to be done, because many a times we do things which are not probably required. So common sense is also very, very important. We call it as Vivek. We need to apply our Vivek to this. Now there was this Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, we all know, guru of Swami Vivekananda. He's sitting on banks of river Ganga, and there is this sadhu which comes he has done his tapasya for 12 years. So he's developed high level of sadhana he has done, and he has developed the siddhi. In this context, we can call it as he has developed some skill. So he comes to this Kolkata and then asks people, I have developed siddhi, I want to demonstrate. Show me or give me a person whom I can debate with. So they say that there is this madman sitting on the banks of Ganga called Ramakrishna. Go to him. So he goes to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and he says that I have done 12 years of siddhi and achieved a siddhi, 12 years of tapasya and achieved siddhi. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, touches his feet and says, please tell me what I can do. He says, I want to show what I have done. So he says, please do that. He says, I can walk over the water. So that man walks over the water and comes back. And he says, see, this is what I have achieved. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, very good, but he has a laughter on his face. So he is smiling. This sadhu gets very angry and says, why are you laughing? Do you think it's easy? Then what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa tells is a very, very important thing. He says that I think you have wasted 12 years of your life doing something which is not required. He says, what do you mean by that? Nobody else can do it. He says that nobody else, this not what about nobody else can do it. Whether this is required, because to go to the other side of the river and come back, I pay only 2 paisa and the boat will take me there and comes back. Why did you waste 12 years in that? Had you done something very, very productive for the society, that would have been much better. So many times we are focused on things which are unnecessary. So we have to understand this particular aspect. So Vivek is very, very important. Personal integrity is very important. Common sense is very important, for the overall personality development. That's what I can say. Thank you so much. I hope I have answered the question.
Yes.
Thank you. Sir, Somling sir, Karni sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Hello, sir. Myself, Suresh Lamani. I'm the program coordinator of MSc Geoinformatics course.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, so far your discussion was very innovative because whatever the tool you have developed, so that is comprehensively developed for all the domains. But when we come to the GIS and remote sensing field, because somewhere I felt that it is not applicable because so here skill sets were different than the management students. Because so as compared to there are 9 courses we have, in that 10 courses are completely different from this GIS and remote sensing course. So here the skill sets what our students are required, so how to implement based on your parameters.
Sir, in fact, I agree with you, but let me tell you something.
Sir.
When it comes to core science, I'm an engineer, so I understand what you're talking about. See, please understand, as far as the industry is concerned, okay, we are looking at holistic development. Now, what you are talking about specific domain skills, as I mentioned in my presentation also, that specific domain skills are different for different streams, no doubt about that. But when it comes to value, when it comes to, see, communication skill, for example, you take communication skills which are required even in your remote sensing, okay, unless you are able to communicate, whether it may not be oral, but has to be written, because unless you communicate properly, you will not be able to put your ideas properly. Similarly, your personal attributes, your ability of self-learning is also applicable for your course. So out of 76 parameters, there are about 30 parameters which are common to all. And rest parameters, as Sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir mentioned, that we will have to work with the industry to understand specifically for your stream and then integrate it. I hope you are getting what we are trying to say.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. But
yes.
So my point of view is that because now what happens, this is a recent technology, sir, where the everyday technologies are comes up. So with this recent trend, because here also this geospatial technology is also one of the third largest technology in the world. So in that context, I have just explained.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. See, we also work in a software industry. There also things are changing every day. Okay. So the point that I'm coming to is, don't focus on the technology, focus on the logic part of it. It's very important. See, if you understand the basics and conceptual and logical understanding of things, then you can learn any technology. The problem is not what we focus normally is how to use a particular technology. I feel that we should know which technology to be used. That is where more important. So I want you to focus on those particular areas, sir, rather than looking at, because today you learn something, one particular technology. By the time you are passing out, the technology would have changed. But if you know, what is the basic fundamental idea, technologies are only tools. Please understand this. Technology is not everything. Technology is only tool. What is important, human beings can never be replaced by technology. Please understand this. You must have seen this in Corona. 10 years back, Shashikant sir will agree with me. Some people were saying that teachers will vanish. There is no need for teachers at all. But in this, during this online education, we also got to know that it is not as effective as that of what teacher teaches you in the class. So
Yes.
the point that I'm coming to is the human aspect, the human talent, the basic logic should be focused, and technology will automatically learn over a period of time. That's where I said self-learning is important.
Yes,
because technology will keep changing. You'll have to keep updating yourself. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Before we wrap up this question and answer discussion, I believe that we have covered all the doubts, dear students. Hope we have cleared all the things what you were in the minds. So may I request Dr. Abdul Aziz sir to present the concluding remarks?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible, Shashikant sir?
Sir, you're audible, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody, once again. Today, Karnataka State Rural Development and Panchayat Raj University and under the banner of Naipunya Kendra, we had organized one webinar on employability quotient. Dr. Sushant sir, Sushant Joshi sir. He has given a broader perspective of what exactly means the employability quotient. Here, sir, in your talk, you have actually covered the principles of employability quotient. That what Dr. Suresh Lamani sir was asking, that it is not particular to any of the course or any of the programs or any of the activity. It is a lifetime thing, that whether he is a beginner or he is a student or he is in the service or something like that, all these variables are to be made use of for our employability quotient. So with that, I will just start my concluding remark. Respected Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, respected Registrar sir, and respected Shashikant sir, and all our faculty members, program coordinators, students. I just want to conclude this session with certain things, what are the observations and certain recommendations and certain important issues what sir has expressed during the course of this session. The important things, sir, I just want to thank you very much for our Naipunya Kendra. Naipunya Kendra, we just were all the way we were telling that it's a placement cell. Now you have given us another name like holistic improvement cell. It is not the placement cell or it is a Naipunya Kendra. Now we will also incorporate the holistic improvement cell, sir. Sir, in the course of your session, you have told the very important variable, the 74 variables. Those 74 variables, we are in the process of developing a module for our 10 different programs. Students who are studying in 10 different programs, and maybe people who are outside also, who maybe take up such type of training programs to come to our placement cell and get the knowledge. We are in the process of developing the modules, sir. We are definitely incorporate these 74 variables where our physical attributes and our domain knowledge and the learning methods and all those things, we will once again take your help while developing these modules, and definitely we will incorporate these things. And also, sir was telling that in the process of assessment, when we start the assessing the student from the day one, even our Vice Chancellor is of the opinion in the beginning of his service, in the beginning of serving to our university, he is telling that the skill development part is very important. The 70% of our students should be adopted the skill development part. Only the 30% part should be a theoretical one. And that's what the things now we are taking forward to the students, and we are going to impart the student more towards the skill development only. And in the course of our placement study, when we start imparting training program for all of our students, we will start doing assessment, skill assessment at the beginning, at the entry level. Also, we will incorporate the skill development at the middle level, what actually has happened. And the third, at the time of exit also, we can at the time of exit also, we will definitely incorporate again at the assessment part. And somebody was asking, the Geeta madam was asking, can we differentiate those students when we train them in the beginning? We can definitely segregate, and we can give more importance for the students who are lagging behind, and we can train them, we can take up all such type of activity. As our Vice Chancellor was rightly telling, that we have to customize our the training skill, and we have to customize our the placement activities. Definitely we can go forward. Shashikant sir, we can work together with the Sushant sir, we can take his help, we can take his experience, we can take his research, we can go ahead. And sir, you have given a very good thing. At the end, you told the story about the Viveka. I want to tell another thing in that aspect is that somebody was asking some people who are working in our people who are serving and also doing their postgraduate program, whatever the 74 attributes are there, are these application of these attributes ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿವೇಚನೆಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. ವೇರ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ದೀಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿವೇಚನೆಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿವೇಕ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿವೇಚನೆ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್. And each and every time when we do our activity, when we do our work, so ನಾವು ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಕೆಲಸದೊಳಗಡೆ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿವೇಚನೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ we will become successful in our this thing career, maybe in the middle of the career, maybe wherever we are in our personal life also, definitely. So those 74 attributes, please, we all of us should remember those variables. We will try to make use of it, sir. And I once again thank you very much for giving your valuable time for our university. And I also thank the organizers, everybody, for giving me an opportunity to speak on this occasion. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Sushant sir for accepting our invitation despite of their busy schedule, as he is working for the controller of examination of the institute. He has agreed our invitation at the very point of the time itself. He has there was no second thought for that. And we are really enlightened with your session, sir, and for advising us how to develop this model as well. So thank you, sir. I also would like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Vishnukant Chatpalli, sir, and our beloved Registrar, Professor Basavaraj Lakkanava, sir, for giving us an opportunity to conduct this webinar. At the end, I would like to also thank Dr. Abdul Aziz, sir, who is head for the Center for Training, Publications and Supervision, and where we are together working for this development of the cell as well as for the training cell as well, sir. So thank you, sir, for your support. And also I would like to thank all the participants, program coordinators, and the faculty members. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.